how would you guide or how would you encourage people to understand learn about the track that they need to go? Because a lot of folks are on here technical. They could be going into
Yeah.
cybersecurity. You know what? And
Yep.
they're saying, I've been
Yep.
doing this for so long. I want to get to the money, right?
Yeah.
How would
Yeah.
you determine or how would you share? What would you share to these individuals that would help them make that path switch?
Yeah. The the story that I will share is I was in the voice and data closet,
Mm-hmm.
and I was cutting down a 1,500 pair voice and data cable. Now, for the folks that may be familiar with telecommunications, one of the things that I write about in the book from a technology perspective that was given to me by a gentleman I will simply call Steve. He was a wonderful man. He was a wonderful man, and he introduced me to the game of golf. But he came in, I was probably 6 months in, and he said, "Sonny," he always called me Sonny, young fella, Sonny and young fella. He said, "Young fella, I want you to remember this. Now, you got to keep in mind, this is 34, almost 34 years ago, and I've never forgotten it." He said, "I want you to remember this, and you'll never go wrong when you're in this closet with all these wires. Blue, orange, green, brown, slate, white, red, black, yellow, violet." He said, "That is the color code. That is the primary and secondary color code. Never forget it. Blue, orange, green, brown, slate, white, red, black, yellow, violet." 34 years ago. That color code is the order in which you need to cut down the cables in the voice closet. White, blue to blue, white, white, orange to orange, white, green to green, white. You have to cut them down in an order. And that's what makes the phone, that what makes the PC work. All the stuff in the closet has a color code that you must cut down. And all those wires that look like spaghetti. I've never forgotten that. And it's been 34 years. I never forget the color code.
Mm.
So I'm in the closet cutting down cables, for getting phones working and getting PCs working. That ends up wiring goes back to your office, right? Starts in a data closet, voice and data. I'm sitting there. I'm probably sitting there. I'm going, okay. I was like, oh, this is nice, but I like working with people.
Mm.
I think I like technology, but I think I would like to help other people find their true calling. And so, again, listening to the voice, I did something that here's the nugget for the folks that are listening that are, regardless of the demographic, here's the nugget. Do not be afraid to do the unconventional.
Mm.
Here's the story. I'm working in the field. I am digging under closets, under desks, in the walls, in ceilings, and I chose to do something that was extremely untraditional in the moment. I decided that I wanted to leave from working in the field to go work in the service desk taking phone calls.
Mm.
And everybody looked at me except the two people who were my leaders, because I shared with them. I said, "Hey, Joe, Chester, I really want to go into management. I like technology. I like being in the tech space, but I want to develop people. I want to go back into the service desk." And they looked at me for a second. They said, "Hey, people don't do that. People go from the service desk, from taking the phone call, out into the field. People go from the call center into something else. They don't go from something else into the call center." Now, remember, this is 1980s, 1990s. People didn't do that, but I knew what I wanted to do. So you have to own what it is you believe, and you need to execute that regardless of the opposition. That's the nugget.
Mm.
And so I went into working into the service desk, and from there, I became the guy that took the phone call, that dispatched AJ to the field.
Mm.
From there, I went into managing the people that took the phone call. From there, I went into leading the teams that took the phone calls, that managed people. From there, I went into leading teams and organizations that managed the field engineers and the service desk and the people in the field and the folks that took the phone call. That exposed me to the complete circle of the technology space. I started in the field. I got into relationships and building people. So now it is a very uncharacteristic journey that is unconventional, but it solidified the circle for my learning and leverage that allows me to be a good leader, because I can speak tech to the Microsoft engineer. I can also speak tech to the guy building SQL databases. I can also speak tech to the guy that's platform services that does the server builds. I can also speak tech to the guy that's doing mobility support. that deals with the voice and data, but I can also speak to the voice of the customer because I know what it's like to be receiving the phone call from the customer's lens. I got the full circle. So from a technology space, that has allowed me to broaden my perspective, which culminates in me becoming a more effective leader because I can relate to you. So if I'm now managing a team of highly skilled technical engineers that are responsible for a data center, I am familiar. I'm not the expert. Remember, as a leader, you don't need to be the expert in every space, and you won't be. That's the other nugget. You have to allow the people that are the experts to operate in their true calling. That's what a leader does. I'm not trying to micromanage what you do. I'm trying to hire people more smarter than I am. Guilty. I like to hire smart people. And then I go, hey, smart person, what do you need from me? What obstacles do I need to move for you? What roadblocks do I need to get out of your way and let you do what you do? Not about me. And if I continue to do that, whether the technology is aerospace, whether the technology is hospital administration, whether the technology is broadcasting, whether the technology, name it, it doesn't matter. If I continue to serve and bring on good people, we all continue the triple win: individual, team, organization. It's no lose.
I love it. I love it.
There you go. There you go.
I love it, Harold. So people don't understand that also is a way for you to gain the visibility that you need in order for you to continue to climb within your career. So what's up, ladder climbers? I wanted to interrupt this video today to tell you guys about the Patreon. Join the Patreon, guys. For $23.99 a month as a professional Patreon member, you get access to me, who's a professional career coach. Guys, if you booked a professional career coach one time, you're going to be spending, for one interview or for one consultation, you're going to be spending more than you would actually pay for a full year in the professional Patreon. You not only get access to me as a professional career coach, you get access to Google certifications so that you can enter the IT market with the skills that you need. You not only get access to Google certifications, you get access to the Black Heights community, which is a powerful community of over 90 individuals who are in the IT space, have all sorts of backgrounds, and that can help to motivate you, keep you motivated so that you can accomplish those goals that you want to accomplish. Become part of the Patreon today, guys. Check it out. See the link in the description.
Yeah.
I'll short story this, but I think about my career. I was thinking about my career when you were talking just now, and I said, you know what? I started my career off as a software engineer, and I climbed a ladder to a software engineer 3, and then, a project lead, project manager. And I remember talking to one of my leaders. His name was Mr. Larry Hilgert at the time. And I said, what, Larry, I'm ready to make a transition into management and leadership, running a team. And he said, Antoine, you know what? I think that'll be good, but this is the position I want you to be in. And it was in our professional services organization where I was currently at. Another position had opened up in our support desk organization. And I knew that we had a complicated software, Harold, to where those guys struggled because a lot of the software that we were writing, I was writing it myself, right? And, you had to have a good understanding of the code base in order for you to be able to support it. Okay. So the opportunity came up and I said, you know what? I'm going to go the support route to understand exactly what these guys go through, to learn exactly what the customers are experiencing, because one of the things they were talking about at the time that we constantly heard was our customer satisfaction wasn't that good. So I got my first responsibility as a full-time manager leaping over to the support organization. And that's how I originally grew as a manager. So we got some very good similarities there.
There you go.
But beyond
that's how it works.
Beyond that, so went from, manager, senior manager, director, and then moved out to the customer success. And then I said this, right? Always knew I had that vision, Harold, to become a CEO or COO of a company. Just like I mentioned probably to you before. You have to have some sort of commercial experience. I'm responsible for a team of 169 at this point in time. Very nice. And, have, 7, 8 direct reports. I had to take a step back in order for me to go to sales, because you're talking about, a level 12 versus a level 10 as an individual contributor in the sales organization. Step back. Right. I tell this story all the time, right? Teresa was like, wow, you're going to sales. You got this, a variable compensation. We don't know if you're going to do good. This may not be the right opportunity for you and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Trust me. I know where I'm going. My vision is to continue to ascend. Went into sales, crushed it, Harold, unbeknownst to me, because a good piece of what you mentioned was you understand people. You understand the positions. You could talk to the Microsoft engineer, but you can also have the voice of the customer because you've spoken with them. And I think that's what makes a lot of us unique who go down these unconventional paths so good at something, because we have the ability to relate to people because we've done it and touched it ourselves. Right?
There you go.
So in this situation for me, when I went into sales, of course, it gives you that visibility to say, wow, this guy can do just about anything. Of course, I get promoted to a principal this year in March. And then I just got promoted again in October to a VP.
Congratulations, congratulations. That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate it, right? But the whole point was not to get the acknowledgement. It's to tell people that there are unconventional ways that you go. If you ultimately want to get to somewhere, go down a direction where you're going to gain some skills. It's never a step in the wrong direction, right? It's never a bad situation. You're just learning. It's just your season to go through at that point in time to gain the skills you need so that you can advance fast. And I went into sales, right? Took a step back, and all of a sudden I shot up past where I was, before. Now reporting into the C-suite, right? So unconventional ways are important. The point of it is really to gain the skills so that you can understand how to relate very closely to other individuals.